Yesterday, Father Jack brought up an issue about benefactors and Redemptorist associates, and that's what one of the big hurdles that we have to overcome, because when the Redemptorists in Extra Patron call in, everybody wants to be a part of the family. Everybody wants to be a part of that. So that's why we have a lot of benefactors, but we have to decide like how we're going to separate them out to be Redemptorist associates, and that's something that we have to work on. And let me see, what was the other thing that we discussed about? Oh, another thing that we were dealing about was that when Father Jack put on the two arrows, how the professed Redemptorists have to go work together with the laity. That's something that we have to work on also, because now, for myself, whenever I see myself, I always see like I'm right here and our priest, our professor right here. So I always refer to them as Father Jack, Father Greg. And so now when we're working together, then it's different. There has to be a meeting ground somehow. And so that's...
So we talked about how we're very spread out across the country, and that the circles that are in existence all need a little bit of revitalization. So we're going to work on that in our circles, but we felt it's really important to be connected across the country. So we will look at ways to improve that kind of connection, and does a good job of sending out newsletters, but we talked a bit about Zoom. We talked about having maybe a Canada-wide retreat, but then that was quickly, no, we're too far, too expensive. So maybe we can do something with Zoom and connect all our circles together for a couple of hours ever so often, be it a retreat or a topic. We talked about perhaps coming out of Anne's office a certain topic that she can prepare, and that could be available to any associate to zoom into and be a part of. So just really build the community beyond our little circle. We had a great idea that came out about doing a parish-wide retreat, starting there, as a way to light a fire for those that might be interested and they don't know that they're interested. So doing a parish-wide retreat based on the 4 pillars, and then see where that goes. And if there's some interest on learning more about Redemptorists, and then building on that to revitalize our circles.
Some information that came from our individual areas, but I think you can see the themes in them. And one of the themes was just accessing all of the support that is available, so that you feel like you're not alone doing something that you're having to create on your own, but to really pay attention to all the resources that we've learned about here. The other is to really use the Zoom process, and there are a lot of ways that we can provide support through that. And in our particular circle, John Davenport has already asked the couple from Portugal to report to us and let us be interactive with them, so that our circle can learn more about what they're doing around the world in ministry. The St. Louis group particularly wanted to take the information and tools from this retreat back so that they can do more foundational work. That's really important to them. And to prepare the group for new members. And that was another theme, was those of us, for instance, our Tucson circle is about to invite new members in January. So we're doing all that preparation for the retreat and what we need to do for that. In the Whittier group, they'll just be starting, but finding a definite date has been important, and just going ahead. And it'll be interesting to see in the parish setting for Father Paul. And he will start weekly, which we did in our circle. We met once a week for an hour for the meeting and an hour for dinner. And we feel that that has really created our community, that people had an immersion into the process and became very committed to it. Some of the groups said that they just had to work on becoming more formalized, having things not as loosely connected, but definitely more organized and formalized. And also, Father Greg mentioned that as in terms of the provincial group, looking at the training for Redemptorist spirituality, and also looking at the area of reflective discernment that's needed, and how to help a person individually make the discernment of whether they're going to be an associate or not. And then Wendy mentioned that we need to say that in the Kentucky campus ministry, there's a great deal going on with the youth. And we want to remember all age groups, I think, in our work with the associates. So there were some themes: becoming more formalized or becoming more prepared for taking on new members for those who've already been meeting, accessing all of the support resources that have been mentioned here, to look at some new areas like Zoom that can be very effective for broadening the information in our groups, and also to make more direct the reflective piece that we need to always include with any of our work in what we're doing.
Well, our problem in Baltimore is that we just don't have a lot of active circles going on. There's just a few. And so a while back, it's like over a year ago, I had identified different confreres at different places of our ministry to, and all of whom agreed, most of whom agreed, to some of them I twisted their arms, but to be the facilitators. But many of the places never got going. And then with the changes recently, we've had over 80 confreres transferred, the largest number ever almost in our province. So sort of starting over again. So I've agreed to try to contact all these individuals again, and some new ones, and all our different places. We now are one province with what used to be with the Southeast was a vice province of Richmond. It's now part of our one province. So there's a little bit more contacting for me to do. And then we talked about bringing them, the Redemptorists, together, because we have to start with them, I think. And so we come up with a tentative date for perhaps a one-day program. So many guys, will balk at a full weekend. But if we could condense some of what we've done here into a day presentation, particularly to give them the guidance on, how to start, what we really are, not a book club, we're not a pious group, and then how to go about it and giving them the materials. So the thumb drive is wonderful, but if Anne had given us previous ones, I had sent them to everybody, but, it didn't go anywhere. So that's where we're at. And the bell stopped us from more visioning and deeper dreaming, but that's the report. A meager report from Baltimore, but you still can clap.
Anne and David for helping us put this together, for their tireless work, for putting this workshop together, and all the work they've done as co-chairs. And the award for the most warm, welcoming host and attentive to every need that we might have goes to Father Ed Vela. And finally, the award for the most important man in our group, our dearly beloved Father Jack Kingsbury, for supporting us in this endeavor. We love all of you. Thank you.
People to keep on being in touch and sharing your ideas, and especially about a future gathering, the 2 years from now kind of gathering of this sort of group. So keep thinking about it and keep being in touch with Francis and Wendy and myself, and we'll all work towards that. Thank you very much, and it's been a delight.